Hey coach, does lifting make you slower? That's what I've heard. So I get this one every now and then. Lifting makes me slower. Lifting makes me less good at the things that I'm gonna do. Lifting makes me this, lifting makes me that. Lifting's the answer to everything. We can get it from all directions with this topic. So let me talk real quick about my opinions on the matter and see where we can go from there. Now, first of all, does lifting make you slower? In fact, there's a couple things that make you slower that you have to look at. First, you may not have been that fast in the first place. If your body isn't built with a bunch of fast twitch muscle fibers, just from nature, from birth, then you're probably not gonna be that fast. Now, that doesn't mean you're a bad person or anything wrong with you. It's just some people are fast and other people are slow. Some people can run sprints and other people are just really, really good at long distance running. And trying to go from a sprinter, being a sprinter, to being a long distance runner, for example, is incredibly challenging. I can tell you from experience, I'm not very good at it. So, what do? Does lifting make you slower? It is possible that lifting will not help gain speed and would make you heavier. So when we're looking at, does lifting help in combat sports? I think yes, but it has to be done properly. There's going to be three types of strength that I'm going to talk about right now. We have, first and foremost, an active strength where you're moving the weight like a bench press or something of that nature. There's going to be a static strength, and that is how long can you hold a particular position, like holding that bench press halfway up. And then there's going to be kind of an endurance strength. That's going to be how many times can I do X amount of weight over and over for like 3 minutes, like we do in the bullet program. So with those three things in mind, there's plethoras of different ways to live. We have this old Soviet way, we have American way, we have current ways, there's Polish ways. There's all sorts of different ways. Which one's the best? I'm gonna share with you the secret right now to which one is the best. Whichever one works for you, okay? So you do need to do some things that make you faster. You've got to focus on that. So if you're lifting and you're not doing things in your fight training that make you faster, you're gonna probably get slower because you're getting heavier and the cells are growing and they're not being trained with an expectation of what you need them to do. So that being said, if you're getting slower while you're lifting, you're training wrong. You're not lifting wrong probably. Because I've known plenty of bodybuilders, which is not a speed type of sport, that were fast and crazy strong. So the misnomers that are out there about lifting are tremendous. So what I'm getting at, if you're gonna lift, here's the way I would put athletes through. First and foremost, you've got to do some lifts that they can do right away. So some people hate bench press or they hate this or hate that. Listen, I'm really not on that. If you don't know how to do Olympic lifting, then you need to do Olympic lift. You need to do like regular lifting, squats, bench press, things like that, dumbbell press, and do things to get muscles strong all over your body while you continue to work on the mat. And if you do that, you can gain your strength here and your speed out there. Now, what we would do, we would look at if a person wants to be a fighter and say that mat right there is your primary training tool, all right? And this stuff here, out here on the floor, would then become your peripheral or your accessory workouts. They are here to help you gain functionality out there. Now, if that's not your thing and you're just looking at being an in-shape athlete kind of guy and you want to continue on with the life that you have and you don't want to be a full-time pro athlete, great. We're going to mix it up even across the board. But this weightlifting makes you slower thing, I don't think so. It really seems to be poor training on the mat that isn't doing the job, and it probably won't do the job for you anyway. And that kind of explains why most people don't go anywhere in the fight world, just like any other professional sport. You have to do things to make yourself faster. And if your trainers don't know how to do that, and they don't know the difference between working type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers and what the workouts need to be in order to work on type 1 and type 2 muscle fibers, then you're not gonna gain strength. You're relying upon genetics and what you were born with in order to make you get faster. And tell you what, guys, way too often do I see in the fight world that people are like, hey, I'm gonna go train with this person or that person, and somehow it's just going to metaphorically go on, like I'm just gonna morph into that person. You're not gonna morph into that person. If you have a preference stronger than your coaches on what you should be doing, there's a problem. Now, if you go find a new coach that agrees with you, there's a problem somewhere, either in the original trainer or in you. So, if you could do yourself a favor, don't be thinking that lifting's gonna make you slow. It's not gonna make you slow. The wrong type of lifting might not help you, but it definitely isn't gonna make you slow, okay? So, that being said, why don't you go ahead, continue lifting, but get onto the mats and do your work. You've got to do what I call auditing motion to get faster. So if you're working your jabs, working your strikes, you've got to audit those in order to make them faster. Now I'm going to do a video series real quick on auditing. So check you on the next one, guys.